Hey, what's going on, guys? Just verify you can hear me. All right, perfect. We'll start just in 1 second. Just gonna let a few more people join, and then we will start the stream. All right, guys. Hope you guys are having a great Monday wherever you're at. Market had a nice bounce after the pump, dump, and then rebound. So very volatile last few days. I know that FD Skirt says that historic weekly close. Yes, historic weekly close is Bitcoin closed above 106.4K for the first time in history, the highest in history. So very, very, very bullish on that front. So yeah, very good stuff. And then, yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them along the way, but it's going to be a weekly market overview stream. So yeah, I'm going to go over everything in the market from crypto news, macro news, crypto market overview, Bitcoin overview, ETF flows, upcoming events, technical analysis. Everything's going to be packed into 1 hour. So sit back, relax, enjoy, guys. It's going to be a great stream. So first, looking at the liquidations, past 24 hours liquidations have been 580 million, with majority of those being long. Now, majority of them were long because, you know, on Sunday, Bitcoin had its crazy pump, right? All the way to 107K, weekly close at 106.4K. So everyone was longing, thinking it was going to go a lot higher. This was finally the breakout. This is going to happen. Only for it to quickly retrace from 107K all the way back to 102K. And so it caught many longs off sides, especially the late longs, and it punished them, which is why we saw all those liquidations. And then the funny thing was all of those longs then immediately got bearish and started shorting. And they said, no, we're going a lot lower than 102K. And they shorted, and then the market bounced. And I'm going to show you why I was actually longing after that retracement. Because in my opinion, if you looked at the sentiment on CT, it was way too bearish, way too fast. Like, I think people thought that that failed rally was, you know, I thought they thought we were just going to break up 107K, weekly close, highest in history, and then just keep going to Valhalla. But in reality, it doesn't happen like that. You have the break, you have the late longs, they get trapped, they get liquidated, and then you continue to grind higher. So standard market economics, but again, for people who are just new into trading, they got scared and thought, okay, we're definitely going lower. That was a failed breakout. So just something to keep in mind there. Now, interesting thing here is looking at the liquidation heat map. Like I said, I need to take a screenshot of this real quick because this is perfect, right? For anyone who actually was looking at the market updates, what did I say? I said that Bitcoin would take liquidity at 102.2K and then continue a lot higher. And that's exactly what it's done. Anyone who saw my market update in the Telegram group or in the Discord, guys, we called this perfectly. So again, these liquidation levels, these heat maps aren't just for show. These actually show you real data that you can act upon if you're willing to put in the work and you know what to look for. That's why I post them nearly every time for my Bitcoin analysis update. And that's why it's imperative. And it gives you a way to actually stay ahead. So while everyone else is wondering what's going to happen with the market, what's going to happen with the market, if you just look at these liquidation levels, it tells you what's going to happen with the market. You just got to be aware enough to identify that, and then you can spot these moves. So hopefully some of you guys caught this move. If not, I know I probably should have caught along in the Telegram, but I did post it in the market update that we're going to have a pullback and then bounce up. So great to see on that front. Next, let's talk about some crypto news. So as you guys know, Trump visited the UAE last week, signed a lot of good deals for the US. We'll talk about that in the macro portion of the update. For now, we'll just talk about the crypto portion, where we had Jack Mallers, 21 Capital, buys over 4,800 Bitcoin, worth 450 million. And guys, this is the stuff I'm looking at. Is, well, everyone's scared. Hey, the US just got downgraded, you know, for their credit rating. Last time that happened was August 1st, 2023. We dropped 10% over 3 months. Everyone was scared, waiting for the stock market to open today. I'm looking at news like this, where you have companies and nation states and countries adopting Bitcoin and actually buying Bitcoin, okay? Don't look at the news headlines. Look at what's going on behind the scenes. So this was, some first good news, right? So they bought a lot of Bitcoin. Now, after that, what has Trump been saying? Saying we're leading China in crypto. Guys, Trump is not treating crypto like a fad. He's actually treating it like an investment. And he's very competitive, as most of y'all already know. And so if he identifies a way that he can get ahead, especially economically, especially versus a competitor, he's going to do that. And he has his sons, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Barron Trump. They're all telling him to buy more crypto, to, ease the crypto regulations. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's actually adopting crypto, fully. And it's not just something that he's mentioned once and he never mentions again, which most people thought he would do. Most people thought Trump would campaign on crypto, get the young voters. After he gets in, never going to mention it again. But he's continued to double down every single month on crypto. Mention it in the UAE. Mention it when talking with China. And he sees it as a way to have a one-up on China because, again, he wants America to be the tech capital of the world. He wants it to be basically, ahead of everyone else. And so crypto is a way to do that. And it's only a matter of time before crypto actually becomes the global currency of the world, right? It's getting close. Bitcoin's getting to the level where, everyone is no longer ignoring it. Now you have countries and nation states and big banks. You even have Chase settling their first public transaction of tokenized treasuries. You even have a few others like Ripple meeting with the UAE to discuss digital payment infrastructure and accelerating financial innovation. You have Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, who's literally at Congress and all these meetings, all these White House crypto meetings, advocating for the adoption of crypto, easing on the regulations or clarifying the regulations. Jack Dorsey from Twitter saying small businesses can be their own bank using Bitcoin. He's been a constant proponent. MoonPay and MasterCard launching stablecoins for 150 million merchants. You have JP Morgan saying Bitcoin could outperform gold in the second half of 2025. I mean, the list goes on. Michael Saylor keeps buying Bitcoin. There's FUD on him today as well that, he's basically like he's not doing it right or whatever. His system is flawed for the way he's buying Bitcoin. So there's some FUD around that, but I think it's going to be a nothing burger. I think the guy's very smart. He knows what he's doing. But again, something to keep in mind nonetheless. You have Eric Trump literally touting about Bitcoin. You have JD Vance, who's actually going to talk about Bitcoin at the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas, May 27th through the 29th. You have Russia reporting Bitcoin as their top performing investment in 2025. Like, guys, the list goes on with all of these different investments, right? Like, I could go on with this, but I don't want to belabor the point. All in all to say, countries, nation states, institutions are adopting Bitcoin in masses, adopting crypto in masses. So please don't fall for the headlines that say, oh, crypto's over. Oh, the rally's done. We're in a bear market now. Everything's going down, right? Yes, eventually that will happen. Yes, we'll enter a bear market. Yes, we'll have a big, 70% retracement, but it's not today, right? My opinion, we're probably going to top out around Q4, Q1, 2026, but I'll keep you guys apprised along the way. So a lot of good news on the crypto front. Also, there was one big thing where it's talked about JP Morgan. Where was it at? Right here. JP Morgan is allowing clients to buy Bitcoin, Jamie Dimon says. So the CEO of JP Morgan, who said that Bitcoin was a scam in 2017 and 2018, is now saying, oh, we're allowing our clients to buy it. Why would you allow your clients to buy it if it's a scam, right? Because they've been loading Bitcoin and crypto all that time. All these institutions have been loading for the past 7, 8, 9 years while they're telling everyone else it's a scam. Guys, you cannot take all the news items for face value. You have to look at what's going on behind the scenes, and that's what we provide at Gym Hunters. Again, if you guys haven't joined the free Telegram group, join it in the description below. Also, join the paid group if you want. We provide a lot more calls, analysis. Also in the description, 1 ETH yearly. And then join the BloFin account. The referral is in the description for the best non-KYC leverage trading exchange. So catch some of our leverage plays as well. Now, let's go over the macro news. So, for the macro news, some big ones is President Trump saying he's willing to travel to China for trade talks with Xi Jinping. This is big because this is kind of one of the last looming, I don't say, not black swan isn't the right word, but the last one pieces of negative news, overhangs, if you will, because China's tariffs, China and the U.S., their tariffs have been a big overhang as far as, causing some fear in the market. So the sooner that Trump can come to an agreement with China on everything with these trade deals, the sooner the market can have some relief and actually continue higher. But again, it's just creating its own catalyst in a way, because the longer this lingers on, Bitcoin grinds up. Eventually, when it's announced, that's when you get the spike to Bitcoin above 110K, 15K, etc. And so this is good news, and this is something I'm just waiting on as well. Also, guys, if you like the video, please like it. Appreciate it. Helps spread Gym Hunters to the masses. Helps people to digest this good content that we post for free. So really appreciate it, guys. And subscribe if you haven't. Try to post these live streams daily for you. Also, we have Trump saying Walmart made billions of dollars last year, and they should not be raising prices. They should actually be eating the tariff. So again, Trump is all about putting money back into the consumer's pocket, not taking money out. So that's something good, is he's really trying to help put money back in the consumer's pocket, which at the end of the day, if they can use that to buy crypto, investments, anything else, right, it's just going to help the overall market. So great to see there. Also, you have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying we're going to grow the GDP faster than the debt growth, and that will stabilize the debt to GDP. So that's been a big thing, right? We've been growing the debt faster than GDP, and it's been basically causing a negative sentiment with the U.S. economy. Now he's looking to reverse that. There's various ways he can do that, whether it's stimulus, QE, whether it's promoting investments, towards TradFi, crypto, whether it's, doing things with interest rates. There's all kinds of different ways they can do that. But nonetheless, they do want to promote investments back into the U.S. economy, back into jobs, back into TradFi and crypto. And eventually that money printer is going to get turned on again, and it's going to get crazy. And so you have to be able to analyze what these comments mean. Most people just gloss over them, but guys, you can't do that. If you want to stay ahead in crypto, you have to read between the lines. You have to know what this means. QT, quantitative tightening, is easing. It's been easing for the past couple months now, and it's only going to eventually end in a couple months, and then that's when QE, quantitative easing, or stimulus starts. The money printer turns on, and then interest rates eventually cut again. Then you see everything just pumping like crazy. So again, right now we're just seeing a small portion of that, but eventually we will see it on steroids. So keep that in mind. Then also you had President Nayib Bukele. El Salvador's Bitcoin reserve is showing a $357 million profit. So again, other countries and nation states adopting it. And you have institutions here. Metaplanet in Japan buys another 104 million worth of Bitcoin. So guys, please look at what these companies are doing. Look at what these nation states are doing. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. They're continuing to buy when it's above 100K. That tells you how much higher they think it's going to go. So very, very important times. Very exciting times. With that said, let's go over some technical analysis for the S&P. So the S&P is at 5950, bouncing very, very nicely. And after this, I'll answer some questions as well. So it's at 5950. Some support could be around 5870, and then 6000 is going to be resistance. Now, like I mentioned, there's some uncertainty regarding the U.S. credit rating downgrade. That happened actually Friday afternoon after the market closed, funny enough. And so people were wondering if that's going to be a big deal or not. But the truth of the matter is, even though the U.S. had another credit market downgrade, or credit rating downgrade, back in August of 2023, and then it subsequently dropped 10% in the S&P over 3 months, people thought that was going to happen this time around. Now, yes, it could still happen, but this is a different time. We have a different president, a different part of the economy. There's different deals going on. So you can't say it's apples to apples, right? So that's why everyone was hesitant on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening whenever Bitcoin pumped and dumped, and they thought, oh man, it's going to be horrible. You know, the stock market's in open red, credit rated downgrading, you know, there's a lot of fear. I knew that, okay, way too many people are fearful right now. We're probably going to bounce, and that's exactly what happened. So, and I put my money where my mouth was. Actually long on Ethereum, around 2,400. But nonetheless, right now it's between a range. It's possible. I mean, if you look at the RSI here, so you can see a little rejection on the RSI. So rejected a couple times. So it's coming up towards rejection as well as a horizontal resistance as well. So potentially we could actually reject here soon. I would look to buy near 58.60 if so. Now gold is rolled over right now. It's having a little bounce at support of 3,200. Remember, gold's a hedge against inflation, a hedge against uncertainty. While yes, there is good news, there's still uncertainty regarding the tariffs and the Russia-Ukraine war still. But nonetheless, gold is still pretty stagnant, right? People are still investing in it as a hedge, but not like they were between December of last year and April of this year, right? Now it's cooling off a little bit. RSI is reset now on the weekly, which could give us more room to the upside if there's some negative news in the market. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking of buying gold, 3,200 isn't bad, and then 3,100 is pretty good, followed by 2,950. Resistance is going to be that coveted all-time high near 3,330, so keep that in mind. I imagine we'll chop a little bit, maybe grind higher, just because gold, again, a lot of people are just investing in it as a hedge. But nonetheless, just keep an eye on these support levels. Now, oil futures, nothing too crazy here, staying between 55 and 65. Again, gas prices are still relatively low. Good to see. The RSI is crossing to the upside on the signal line, so potentially a little upside here on oil futures, maybe to 65. Again, nothing too crazy as long as it stays within this range. And then you have the DXY. I may or may not continue to go over this or analyze this because it used to be inversely correlated to the S&P and Bitcoin. Now, not so much. I mean, recently now you can see it's going down, and S&P and crypto or in Bitcoin are going up. So now it's inversely correlated again. I think a slight reason for the lack of inverse correlation was because you had the RSI way oversold here, and then finally it bounced, and that's what caused, you know, a little rally here. And now the RSI is reset again, so maybe we can have that inverse correlation again. That's, you know, that's a very small reason, and there's a lot of other bigger reasons why that inverse correlation wasn't happening, but I'll keep an eye on it and see if it continues at that point. If it can break below 100 psychological level and go a little bit lower, then we could see stocks and crypto go much, much higher. So if it continues higher from here, resistance isn't until 104, so maybe a little bleeding chop until then. So gonna have to watch for this weekly close to see if we close below 100 or if we close above and then continue to grind higher. So let's go ahead and look at the questions. Remember, guys, if you like the video, please like the video. Help spread the channel and grow it. So really appreciate it, guys. All right. Let's see. Yes, Brian, cycle wants to break out. Yes, yes. They announced some good updates as well. Good stuff. Let's see. Don says, Solana long or short right now? I can't read the chart. So we'll go over Salana in a minute. When I go over the crypto analysis, we need to cover some more crypto market overview and some Bitcoin overview before then. Indigo says, I swung the Sunday BTC dip and buy almost perfectly. Hey, Indigo, that's awesome. Glad you're making money. Alex, only 27 people is crazy. Hey, right now we have a little bit more, right? We have about 111. So good to see on that front. Glad you all are here. Hope you're having a great Monday and hope you are learning a lot of good stuff. Gus says, hi, John Luke. ETH hit TP1 and 2 yesterday. However, it went back down this morning and up at 2.5K now. Do we still leverage in with the same amounts? Hey, Gus. So, funny story. I was actually thinking of calling an ETH long yesterday between 2380 and 2400, but technically our stop loss was at a believe it was a daily close below 2410, and that never happened. And so I assume people are still in their ETH long. And so I would say if you're not in long already, don't get in one right now. But if you're still in your long, then hold it, and potentially you'll reach that take profit 3 of around 2670, 2680. Let's see. Gus says, if a leverage trade is posted, how long can we stick to it? Yeah, basically until your stop loss is hit or your take profits are hit. That's kind of at the end of the day how you want to do that. Some people, they'll take profit and then they'll move their stop loss to break even after they hit their first TP1. So they secure that profit. So totally up to you which way you want to do. I know that I do 50% at take profit 1, 25% of my position at take profit 2, then the remaining 25% at take profit 3. And sometimes I'll ride take profit 3. Sometimes I'll move my stop loss up to break even. It just depends. And then Gus says, also, how much do we put into meme coin trades? When do we enter and exit? So meme coin trades are going to be, I mean, again, it just depends. Everyone's different, right? But say your portfolio, I would say maybe, okay, so maybe 15, 20% of your portfolio is going to be in memes, but into each meme trade, maybe like 1% of your portfolio, if that, like, or 0.5%. Like memes are still very risky. So 0.5% to 1% of your total portfolio into memes. Eswar says, hey, good to see you, Eswar. Hey, CryptoData, love your TA. So my question is, should we wait to long BTC ETH SOL or still wait for another pullback? Like 4-hour time frames on these coins look promising. Eswar, my advice to you would be to wait for pullbacks. Never FOMO in. And that's something we went over actually in our last stream yesterday, managing emotions in crypto and trading, is never FOMO, never overtrade. Wait for the trade to come to you, right? There's always going to be opportunities every day. Wait for the trade to come to you. That's always when you have the best risk reward. Eswar says, do you keep any trades open while you're asleep? Like I've always missed so many profitable opportunities and got liquidated. Sometimes sadly got a taste of bitterness both times. Yeah, Eswar, I actually do that a lot. I leave trades open because I just set my take profits ahead of time and my stop loss ahead of time. So I know, I already have my levels set, because if you don't do that, then, well, you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail, right? So that's why I always post my take profits ahead of time. I set my limit orders. I set my stop losses, and so I can sleep peacefully. If it hits it, it hits it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not going to stress over it. And that's the biggest thing. If you have a plan in trading, it's stress-free. Philip says, just finished working, eating protein bowl with fruits, TP's hit, and John Luke streaming. What a day. Hey, Philip, awesome, man. Glad you're having a great day. It is a great day indeed. The Almighty says, go ahead and like the video, guys. Hey, yes, appreciate that. Like the video if you can, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Helps us give these streams for free and grow the Gym Hunters channel, which I greatly appreciate. Let's see. F30 Skirt says, leaving retail far behind. Yes, we are. Hey, fire session. Glad you're liking it. S4 says, as always, thanks for your dedication and sharing all the alpha about trading in crypto. I would have missed a lot if it wasn't part of Gym Hunters and CryptoData. Hey, appreciate you, S4. Again, guys, we have the description, or the link to the free group in the description, as well as the paid group if you want it, 1 ETH yearly. And then our BloFin referral link for our non-KYC leverage trades that we post weekly. Definitely join it. Make some money, guys. There's a lot of money to be made in this market. Junior says, where do you see ETH in next 1 week? Hard to say. I'll talk about that actually in a minute. So yeah, I'll talk about Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin in a minute. So with that, let's actually go over some more news items in the market, and then I'll go over some more questions if you guys have them. Now, crypto market overview. So CoinGecko, Bitcoin's up 0.7%, 105.3K. Ethereum's up 1.4%, 2510. Top gainers, Aave 2.2, Mantle, and then also you have a few others like Kita up 32%. This coin has been going crazy. Congrats to anyone that got on this one. And then Collateralized at 115%. So again, another good coin there. So a lot of good coins rallying. And again, while it doesn't look like a lot, these bounces have actually been pretty big. ETH was at 2,300 at one point. So if you would have been watching the streams and paying attention to the market updates, I was saying ETH 200 EMA on the weekly at 2370, good long area, you'd have been a nice profit. So hopefully some of you guys took that. If not, you'll get it next time. All right, let's look at DeFi Llama. So looking at the on-chain data, money is still flowing on-chain. Ethereum plus 2%. Solana plus 7%. And a few others as well. Monthly change, very, very bullish for the monthly change. So 30% for Ethereum, 20% Arbitrum, 21%. You have Solana, 19%. So again, month over month, money is still on chain. Even over the days, money is still flowing on chain. Good for us. Retail's coming back. Good for our bags. Now, Fear and Greed Index. This is something I always look at, guys. If I have to stress anything, I would say look at the Fear and Greed Index. It can help you to determine when you should buy or sell and what you should be looking at for a long or short. So, long story short, what does it mean that we're at 71 greed right now? Is it bullish or bearish? What should I do? Should I buy or sell? Well, the Fear and Greed Index, if it stays, I'm expecting it to stay between 60 and 80. And if it can stay between 60 and 80, Bitcoin can continue to grind higher, right? All the times that it stayed between these levels, Bitcoin has grinded higher. And so what this means is when it's in the greed area, it means people are greedy enough, they have the attention enough to want to invest, yet it's not at the extreme greed area to where people are getting overly euphoric and we have to have a pullback, just like these areas here, okay? So this greed area is a sweet spot. 60 to 80 is a sweet spot. As long as we can bounce between here, it's money. Now, when you get to extreme fear, that's when you mark the bottoms, right? And that's when you can start buying, okay? So extreme fear is good for buying. Greed is good for kind of consolidating / grinding higher. Neutral, not really any direction one way or another. So just look at this as like a sentiment, okay? Greed, potentially chop buyer. Extreme greed, look to sell. Extreme fear, look to buy. And then fear, potentially a chop downtrend until it gets to extreme fear. So again, you just have to look to be able to analyze this chart, but it's telling you everything you need to know. And when you combine that with technical analysis, sentiment on CT, crypto Twitter, then the rest is history and it's a lot easier. All right, Bitcoin monthly returns. So remember how I always compared this to 2020 seasonality? Most people weren't even looking at this. Look at this, green January, red February, March, green April, red, green May as well. So 2020 seasonality is playing out perfect. Why have I been comparing it to 2020? Because in 2020 we had COVID, we had a lot of uncertainty. 2025 we had tariffs, we had Russia-Ukraine war, a lot of uncertainty. And so again, while history doesn't always repeat, history often rhymes. And that's what I'm looking at here is just all the uncertainty in the market, very similar to 2020 sentiment. And now we're seeing it play out perfectly. Now, do I think it's going to continue? Do I think we're going to have a red June and then green July, August? It's possible, right? Everyone's expecting a sell in May and go away. Everyone's expecting a red summer. I mean, I'm tempted to lean towards that. 60% will probably have a red summer and then rally in Q4. But I'm not ruling out, again, similar seasonality, like a red June and then green July, August. Like, that would catch people off guard, honestly. If we had a green summer, that would catch a lot of people off guard. So never say never, but it just depends on the macro environment. Maybe the government wants to start QE in the summer. Maybe interest rates want to be cut in the summer, right? Like there's all kinds of things that can happen to aid the same seasonality as 2020. So we'll see what happens, but could be watching that closely. All right, before we go over the ETF flows, I'll answer a few more questions. John says, would joining the premium group during the bear session still be 1 ETH a year? Yes, John. Yeah. So ETH, like it's just 1 ETH a year whenever you want to join it. It's always 1 ETH a year. So whenever ETH was at 1,500, 1,600, it was 1 ETH, not even a month ago, right? So people are literally getting a 50% discount versus where it was in the bull market last year at 3,500. So literally, you know, right now it's around what, 2,500. So still a pretty good discount versus the highs of ETH. So yeah, now's not a bad time to get into the premium group. And then John says, where could I trade stocks? You can trade stocks on Robinhood. Carson F1, when people are talking about day close prices, are they using UTC time? Yes, Carson, they are. So it's midnight UTC. So in Central Standard Time, that's going to be 7 p.m. CST. In Eastern Standard Time, I believe that's going to be 8 p.m. EST. So yeah, so midnight UTC for the daily, that's what they're talking about. For the weekly, that's what they're talking about. Alma says, how are you doing, gang? Hey, hope you're doing good, Alma. Ultima News, amazing. Alma says, best Twitter accounts to follow, Donald Trump News. Alma, so for that, I'll go ahead and get that for you real quick. Also, while we're talking about Twitter accounts, real quick, if you guys aren't following me at the CryptoData, definitely do so. I actually posted a long thread, staying healthy while trading, which everyone needs to watch if you aren't. I focus on everything I do day to day as far as sleep, my morning routine, prayer, meditation, food supplements, what I eat, the vitamins I take, workouts, everything. Because you guys need to be able to have your health in check if you want to be successful in trading. You cannot have bad health and be successful, right? You can, but it's very, very hard. It's easier to be healthy, think clearly, and be able to trade effectively, right? It helps you manage your emotions. So please, guys, check this thread out. X account is at the CryptoData, and it's a good thread. Give it a good read, guys. As far as Donald Trump news, so There's a couple ones. Rapid Response 47. This is a good account for Donald Trump news. Rapid Response 47. And then what else? You have, well, obviously Donald Trump. You know, when he posts at Real Donald Trump, he posts news. And then you also have, I mean, Watch Your Guru is good for anything he posts. Watch Your Guru is a good one. But yeah, I would say the Rapid Response 47 is probably the best. And then you also have like Bo Loudon, who is he's Barron Trump's friend, but he posts a lot about Trump news. So that could be a good one as well. He posts a little bit of Trump. So yeah, I would say Rapid Response 47 is probably the best one. All right. Let's see. Peter says thoughts on NEAR. I will go over that as well in a minute. And I'll go over the WIFF charts. And then Abshek says BTC is going all-time high this week or not. He just wants to know. He just wants to know if it's going to all-time high. Hard to say. I mean, we did have the weekly close the highest it has ever. And so it's possible. It's very possible, yes. I would probably lean... I don't know if it's all-time high this week. I think we'll get to 108K. But I don't know if we'll go to 109 or 110. My opinion on PLTR stock. I'll go over that as well in a minute. Luca, let's go G. You're the best. Hey, appreciate you, Luca. You're a G. STW says, I've got my 130 for my school fees. I haven't paid yet. I've been trading with your signals. I demoed account. I made like 10 grand. Awesome. Is $130 good enough to start? What would you do, CryptoData? Yeah, so, well, first and foremost, when you're trading, guys, like, only invest what you can afford to lose, okay? If you need the money for rent, if you need the money for school, like, don't trade with that money. Like, strictly use that for what you need. Only save up what you can afford to lose, and then you can trade at that point. Now, I will say this, okay? If you have extra money, STW, then make sure that you're managing your risk properly. Strictly take the trades that we post and don't veer from them, right? Don't overtrade. Don't buy something that, you know, you saw someone else post about. Like, if you're going to do it, then stick to it. Have that trading plan. And then from there, again, you can just grow your account, okay? But just manage risk properly. $130, yeah, I mean, it's something, right? I mean, you could grow it. Ideally, I'd like $500 or more. But $130, you can still grow a leverage trading account, for sure. Alma says, what's your TP1, 2, and 3 strategy? TP1, 50%, TP2, 25%, and then TP3, 25% as far as of my trade. So if I have $1,000 in, at TP1, I'm taking out 50% of my position. At TP2, I'm taking out the remaining 25%. And then at TP3, I'm taking out the remaining 25%. Because there's a higher chance it's going to reach TP1, so I take out a majority, at least half. But there's less likely chance it's going to reach TP2 and 3, which is why that's 25% each, right? But I still want to catch some of that move. So with that, let's go ahead and go over a few other news items, and then I'll answer a few more questions. All right, Bitcoin ETF flows. So Bitcoin had some good flows last week. Besides the negative 91 mil outflow, we had mostly positive inflows with some good numbers. 319, 114 million, 260 million. Now, with the Bitcoin rebound we had today, I'm expecting some positive inflows as well. This is what you want to look at, guys. You want to look at institutional flows. You don't want to look at what the news is saying. You want to look at what the big institutions, what the big dogs are saying, because at the end of the day, they're the ones moving the markets, right? If they're buying Bitcoin for their clients above 100K, how high do you think they think Bitcoin's going to go? 115, 120, 150, 200? Who knows, right? But you can look at the data and you can see what they're doing. So Bitcoin's looking good for inflows. It's going to be interesting to see what happens today and what those inflows say. Now, on the other hand, Ethereum hasn't been looking as good. It's had a lot more outflows, and then the inflows haven't been that high, 22 million, 63 million, 13 million. So once we start to see more inflows for Ethereum, that's when you start to see Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, and then alts really send. Like, we've seen a mini alt season, but we haven't seen a true alt season like we had last cycle. Last cycle, everything was going up 20, 30% every day for multiple weeks on end, right? We got a little taste of that, but we haven't gotten the full alt cycle. Once Ethereum starts really outperforming and the ETH BTC chart continues to break trendline resistance, that's when you really see everyone flock to alts, and you'll really start to see green on the timeline. So good on that front. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin. So I'll go over the Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, Palantir stock, and WIFF as well. And then I'll answer some questions. So for the Bitcoin, we had that rally, right? To 107K, had the weekly close, 106.4K, highest in history. And then we had a big retracement. Now, here's the thing, guys. Once we had this retracement, right? So we had Bitcoin on Sunday, closed up here, and then immediately had a retracement. Now, we had the retracement to 102K. A couple things here. One, it's at support, right? If you drawed your SR lines correctly, support resistance lines, you'd have seen it's at support. Everyone on the timeline was bearish whenever we got to this level. Everyone, they're saying, oh, it was a failed rally. We're going a lot lower. Like, it was so obvious to see that this was an easy long. And I longed ETH at 2,400. Like, I have the receipts to back it up. But it was so obvious this was an easy long and an easy counter sentiment trade that I almost called an ETH long again in Gym Hunters. But I was like, well, people are probably already in it because we haven't hit TP3 yet. We haven't hit our stop loss yet. So I didn't call it. So probably should have. But nonetheless, guys, when you see everyone calling for lower, like even big accounts, that's when you know, okay, are we at support? How's the indicators looking? Okay, we're probably going to bounce from here, right? And that's exactly what happened. And so you have to look at, okay, where's your major support levels at? What's the sentiment? Does it match up? Like, is there a lot of fear, but we're at support? Okay, that's a good buy level, right? That's what you have to look at, guys. Now, again, the RSI is crossing to the downside below its signal line. It is below overbought, so technically we could probably, bounce here, or we could go a little bit lower, right? We could still grind a little bit above 104.7K. This could be resistance turn support, or even retest 102. I'm not saying we couldn't, but look at what happened. Last time we were talking about our liquidation levels, reached 102, and then we sent higher. And we were telegraphing this the whole time, guys. I posted this in the Bitcoin market update. You can check it out. We called this perfectly. And so again, if you aren't joined the Gym Hunters free group, definitely do so. Join the premium if you want. I post there first. And then join our BloFin referral link for non-KYC leverage trades to be eligible for our campaigns and trade with us. But guys, you just gotta look at the data, and it's gonna tell you what's gonna happen. While everyone else is saying one thing, we were doing the opposite. So good on that. Now, what I want to see with Bitcoin, obviously this was resistance. So this was an easy rejection as well, right? If you were prepared, like I always post these resistance levels, you have been ready for the short or take profit. What I want to see is Bitcoin closing above 107K. If we can close above 107K, very, very bullish. At that point, I'd look for something like this. Maybe a retest of support around 106K and then continue higher. And then that's when you look for the all-time high. So if we continue to reject from here, where would I buy? If you're not in right now, well, a little bit riskier. You could buy at this, midterm support, resistance turn support, about 104.8K. And then from there, around 102.7K again. So, I mean, it's up to you, right? I would not long right here in the middle of this range. I'd be longing down here. And at the same token, if you want to short, you could try to short near 106, 107K with stop loss at 107, a daily close above 107K. Stop loss above that, you could do that as well. But know that the more times a resistance level is tested, the weaker it becomes. Okay, so this has tested this 106K for what, twice, 3 times, 4 times, five times. So by the 6th or 7th time, it's probably going to break. It's only a matter of time now. You saw the good news we talked about earlier in the stream. You've seen the ETF flows. You've seen everything coming to fruition. And so it's only a matter of time before we actually start breaking all-time highs again. And so, guys, don't fall into the fear. I always said dips are for buying. Hopefully you guys have been buying on these dips, and I'll continue to post those. If you want to see the updates, again, join the free group, join the pay group if you want 1 ETH yearly, and then sign up for BloFin referral. And please like the video, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Now let's go over Ethereum. So for Ethereum, now this is something also I've been posting about. Okay, what I'm looking for is, I'll take away some of these lines so it makes it a little bit easier real quick for you to see. But what I'm looking at, right now, Ethereum is between 2 major levels. And I posted this on my X account as well at the CryptoData, if you guys are following it. 2580 on the weekly, 50 EMA, and then 2370 on the weekly 200 EMA. Now, what's happened in the past? In the past, Ethereum's bounced off this weekly 200 EMA. In the past, Ethereum has rejected or bounced off of the 50 EMA. So it's only natural to think that it's going to bounce between the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA, which is what I've been doing. I've been longing and shorting Ethereum between these two levels. Now, what I want to see is a weekly close above 2,600. At that point, we're going to send a lot higher. That's when you're going to look for 2,800, 3,000 plus. Now, if we get a weekly close below at 2330 of the 200 EMA, then we're going a lot lower. At that point, I would target, I don't want to say 2,000, but maybe 2,000, right? Like, there's going to be maybe 2,100. I think 2,100 resistance turn support here could be a good level. But nonetheless, there's going to be some downward momentum if we close below 2330 on the weekly. So we got 6 days left to close on the weekly. Let's see what happens. But in the meantime, Ethereum's going to continue to bounce. Like I said, for a trade that we have in Gem Hunters, I said a daily close below 2410 would be our stop loss. We closed the daily at 2497, 2474. We never closed below 2410, which was, I was looking at the daily 200 EMA. Daily actually is at 2430. Okay, so a little bit higher than the weekly 200 EMA. But nonetheless, you guys should still be in your trade for Ethereum. We didn't get stopped out. So that goes to show you guys, like, literally, if you follow the stop loss procedures, you still be in your trade for take profit 3. And that's what we're going to post once we get it. So again, just some levels I'm watching, but guys, you got to be studying. You got to be watching these levels. You got to be putting in the work, because while everyone's panicking, you have the data to back it up. You know what indicators to look at. MACD is now crossing to the upside on the weekly. Could take some time to play out, but stock RSI is getting close to overbought, so maybe another week or two before we have a huge pullback, as long as we can stay above the 2330. And the RSI is still looking good, right? Still in the middle. So not bullish, not bearish. But yeah, that's stuff I'm looking at on there. Let's see. Now I'm going to go over Salana, WIFF, and then Palantir, and then I'll answer some questions, guys. So you can keep the questions coming, and please like the video. I know I've said that a lot, but sometimes you got to remind people just in case, because they get so caught up in the video, which again, I do appreciate you guys watching and contributing your time. Okay, let's go. Let's do Salana. All right, so for Salana, let's go on the daily chart. So we had some resistance here near 180, and then we're actually at support, funny enough, near 165. So not a bad support level. It actually coincides with a 200 EMA, which is interesting. So let's see what the indicators are saying. RSI's to the downside. Stock RSI actually is interesting. It's getting oversold. So guys, this may not be a bad level to DCA into Salana, into a long. Like, I would probably DCA here, honestly, because you have Salana at support, also at the 200 EMA. Now, the MACD is crossing to the downside, which is a little negative, okay? Granted, this is a lagging indicator, so you could see it was dropping and, you know, finally crossed when the drop already happened. So maybe going to reset now. But nonetheless, Salana does look pretty good here. Okay? Yeah, so I'd be a buyer 160 to 165, and then after that 153. So keep an eye on that, guys. That's what I'm watching closely. So yeah, thanks for thanks Alma for asking me to look at Sol. May see a good long opportunity here. All right, let's do. Now we're gonna do WIFF. And then we'll do Palantir. Oh. All right, something happened here. So let's go ahead and leave that. Let's do dominance. I have a lot of other cryptos on here. Okay, let's do WIFF. Now for WIFF, let's see. Let's do some weekly, because there is some weekly levels. Okay, so here's some levels on WIFF. Important levels to watch. Now we go to the daily. Yeah, so here's the thing with WIFF. So it's right at its 200 EMA. Okay, 200 EMA has acted as resistance in the past. A little bit of support, etc. So if we can close above the 200 EMA, very bullish for WIFF. Now, as far as indicators are concerned, RSI and stock RSI still have a little room to go, so not the best, and it's in the middle of a range, as you can see. So what I would say is long WIFF near 78 cents if you can get it. If you want to long it sooner than that, then I would say around 90 cents. 90 cents is probably gonna be a good level. 90, 91, maybe a good level long, and then below that 78. So yeah, I wouldn't be long in here because it's in the middle of a range. Also look for a close above the 200 EMA at $1.15. This may also be resistance though, right? Rejected here, rejected here. So really, I mean, a close above 120 would probably be best as far as confirmation is concerned. But yeah, just note that this 200 EMA, this resistance around 115 to 120 is going to be some resistance. So yeah, that's why I'd say don't enter until at 90 cents. And then Palantir. Also, someone was asking about Palantir. Let's see real quick. It's a stock. So let me see the weekly. Okay, let's do some weekly charts or weekly charting on it. Okay, let's go to the daily. Yeah, see, stocks are a little bit, I guess, harder to really, nail those SR lines, but nonetheless, I'm still doing it. So Palantir doesn't look as good. It's rolling over on the RSI, it's rolling over on the stock RSI, it's rolling over on the MACD. All negative signs for Palantir. So if you're in it, just, again, be wary. Starting to roll over on all three of these. And we were actually overbought. Let me look at my candle matrix indicator. Yeah, I mean, it's getting close, right? It's getting close to a lot of these levels. Yeah, it may be due for a pullback. I would say that may be due for a pullback, like especially if you look at divergences. So I like to do or use divergences in my analysis as well. So RSI made a lower high as price made a higher high, right? So you had a divergence here, bearish divergence on Palantir. So probably a little bit lower. If you're looking to buy, obviously $100 is going to be money. But if you want to buy sooner than that, maybe 107. So, all right, let's check out some of these questions. Got about 10 minutes left. Sino says, do you say Bismillah before you enter a trade? I do not, Sino, but I know, I assume you're Muslim. And yeah, I know that that's a common phrase for, basically, praying to God, everything will go well. So yeah, no, it's good saying though. Again, it's good to get in the habit of that. Patricia says, what are you drinking? That's hilarious. I'm drinking water, actually. It's warm water because I had a slight, I don't know what you want to call it, sickness. I mean, it wasn't cold, flu, or strep, but it felt like it from Dubai when I went to Token 2049. So I'm just drinking warm water. It helps moisten my throat, and so I can talk longer on these streams. Almost better, though. Should be better in a few days. That's pretty funny. Y'all can hear that. Alex says, how can we learn to read news and economics and use it in our advantage in our trades investments? Great question, Alex. So how I use news and economics to my advantage. So basically, it's just my overall long-term sentiment, right? So when you're looking at news, like I was mentioning, back with, okay, Trump with Russia wants to do a large-scale trade deal with the U.S., and you had all these companies buying. Like, this is what I use for long-term sentiment. Like, you have countries, nation-states, all these institutions buying Bitcoin and investing in cryptocurrency, adopting it, that that it really tailors my long-term vision. If you're saying how do you use it like day-to-day trading, honestly, by the time you see it in the news, it's already too late. Like the move has already happened. Okay, so if you see Michael Saylor buys 765 million worth of Bitcoin, well, that news has already been priced in, and everyone's probably selling on that news, right? Or there's actually news of Trump having a trade deal with China earlier on. I want to say like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, before this. The market pumped on it a little bit, and I was thinking in my head, this is already priced in. Like it's probably going to retrace. And what happened after a little pump? It retraced. And so that's what you have to look at. Is a lot of times these news items are already priced in because people are expecting it, right? Trump usually telegraphs, oh, there's some good news coming, or you can usually tell, you hear in the grapevine, this is going to be announced, or hey, they're working on this trade deal. So people are buying in anticipation of that announcement. So it's always a buy the rumor, sell the news. Just keep that in mind. Always a buy the rumor, sell the news. So use that to your advantage, right? Use these big news events to take profits along the way and use it as like exit liquidity in a sense. All right, let's see what else we got. Team OK Buy says, what are your thoughts on Ondo? Let's see, Ondo. So Ondo's not bad. I mean, it's one of the top RWA platforms, real world asset platforms. BlackRock likes it. A lot of people like it. Fortunately, this didn't play out. It broke through our 200 EMA, but it is bouncing nicely off this 91 cent level. This was support. So yeah, it's not a bad level to long Ondo right now. The stock RSI is oversold, which is very good. And then the RSI is still curving to the downside, but it's at support. So I'd say DCAing at around 90 cents, not a bad level. And then 77 cents is the next best level. If you want to front run that, then potentially some midterm support near 85 cents. So it'll probably be a good DCA level as well if it keeps going lower. Resistance is going to be right at the 200 EMA, about at $1, also psychological, and then 110. But yeah, long-term bullish on Ondo. Let's see. Victor says, hi again, Data. Last time you gave me some great insight. Thank you for all the value. What's your opinion on NXPC new play to earn game crypto? Hey, Victor. Awesome to hear, man. Glad I could help you out. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Let's see. You said NXPC. All right, let's see what we can find there. Is it on AVAX? New play to earn game with crypto. I don't know if it's on AVAX or not, but if this is it, then that chart looks pretty bad. I hope it can hold 150 mil. And then 170, 190, and 218 is going to be resistance after that. Link the contract address if you can, Victor. I feel like I'm not looking at the right one. Maybe I am. Gonna be next pace? I'm not sure. But yeah, link the contract address if so, and then I'll double check on that. All right. Michael says, can we learn scalp intraday trading from you and TA Analysis? It'd be interesting. You know, scalp and intraday, I don't do it because it's a little riskier. It's a little riskier, and I don't like risking other people's money if I'm not as confident. So, yeah, I would say I'm going to stick to swing trading, but you could still learn scalp trading. Excuse me. Like on lower time frames, 5-minute, 15-minute, hourly, just using the same analysis that I do for swing trading. It'd be the same thing, but just know that the time frame is going to be shorter. Take profit's going to be quicker. So. Let's see. John says, would you also recommend trading on 5-minute time frame, taking multiple trades a day? No, I would definitely not recommend that. Very, very hard to trade intraday, especially on lower time frames, because your support resistance levels aren't respected as much. Therefore, there's a higher chance that they're going to get broken through and you're going to get stopped out. Eric, hey, CryptoData, thank you for the content that you make for us. Love it so much. Is there a potential bull flag formed on the daily chart on Doge? Hey, Eric, appreciate you, man. Glad you guys are getting some value from this content. Let's go ahead and look at Doge on the daily for the potential bull flag that you are talking about. So, oh, look at that. Little Doge in the bottom right. I love that animation. Okay, so I see what you're saying. you're saying we have the flagpole here, and then the little, let me draw the parallel channel, and then you're seeing like a little thing here. Yeah, no, it's good catch actually. Good catch, Eric. It's very possible we could have, like, I can take the EMAs off real quick. Yeah, so it's very possible this could be a bull flag. Very possible on the daily. Yeah, it's pretty good analysis there. So I would say if we come back down to, what, 20 cents on Doge, definitely look to long that. Could be a good long opportunity. Or if we end up breaking above 23.5. If we end up closing above 24 cents, that's a confirmed breakout. I'll say 24 cents, we're going a lot higher. So yeah, it's definitely getting close to breaking out, in my opinion. It's also at support. You know, this is big resistance now at 22 cents. Now turns support. So potentially we could bounce from here and just break out. I could see that. So good catch. Kevin says, how do I deposit money on BloFin? Yeah, so all you have to do is, so I made some tutorial videos on BloFin as well, but all you have to do is there's a deposit button in the top left, I believe, on BloFin. And I can actually, here, one sec. So here's BloFin right here. So all you have to do, let me get out of this real quick. So all you have to do for BloFin is, one, you can do buy crypto, or you can go to your account and you can actually deposit. If you go to overview, then you can actually deposit there. So hover over your account and you'll see like crypto overview or asset overview, and you'll see a deposit button there and you can deposit. So yeah, just hover over your account, you'll see, and I still want to show my UID number, but yeah, you can deposit there. This is a test account, but still nonetheless. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's going to be in your crypto assets overview page. You'll see a deposit button for depositing crypto. But yeah, watch my tutorial. I have it pinned in the free group, the free Telegram group, the first pinned message, and I have a BloFin tutorial. Let's see. Luca says, guys, do you have any courses or something? I want to learn more. Yes, so we actually, I do TA Academy videos weekly for the Gym Hunters account. So if you look at our YouTube channel, you can see like my technical analysis videos I post weekly. You can learn a lot from there. So start on the first one. It's 7 weeks ago. I said it's technical analysis, like support and resistance basics. And you can learn from that and basically go for every video afterwards. Nick says, how much capital do I need at a minimum to trade effectively in the Gym Hunters paid group? Minimum, I would say $500, preferred $1,000. But if you got at least 500, I think you can make something happen. A couple $100 for memes, a couple $100 for leverage, maybe $100 for some spot trades. Rizzer says, I have a 50K port looking to cash out, just a 2 to 3x. Would leverage trading be better for me, or look hold spot 2 to 3 lev and hodl? Ooh, great question, Rizzer. Looking to cash out just a 2 to 3x. You know, I think, man, that's a good question. Here's what I would do. I would do both, okay? I know that's a cliche answer, but I would do both, and I would say maybe take 5K of that and leverage trade with that. 5K of that, leverage trade, take the trades you post in Gym Hunters, build that up, and then on the same token, no pun intended, just hold spot or low 2 to 3 leverage on some good alts like SUI, maybe Ethereum, maybe Salana, right? And that's probably your best bet. So maybe like a 2x leverage on like ETH, SUI, Solana, maybe Hyperliquid potentially, and then Bitcoin, right? Spread it out like 8K each coin on 2x leverage or so. And then have 5K where you're trading the leverage we post in the Gym Hunters free group or the premium group. If you haven't joined the premium group, we post more leverage trades in there. So that's what I would say. That's what I would do for me. I'd have a little, 10% of my port, a little bit riskier leverage trading, and then the majority, low risk, solid coins, probably going to get me a 2 to 3x on that. That'd be my best bet. Let's see. Julian says, hey, John Luke, how are you? I would like to, let's see if the free group could show the name of who's posting the signals. For example, if I only want to take your trades, I would like to know it's you. Thanks. Hey, Julian, so if you look at the bottom right of the posts, it should say who's posting it. So if you actually look at the post I made for the live stream, in the bottom right, you should see my name, CryptoData, on like the signature of the message. Verify if you can and let me know, Julian. Philip says, is 200 or 50 EMA more significant on or daily support lines? Daily support is always going to be the most important, like the horizontal support. After that, 200 EMA is most significant, and then 50 EMA is going to be more significant. But honestly, back test to see what your token has respected more. If it's respected the 200 EMA or the 50 EMA more. Because some respect more, some versus others more. Let's see. Joseph says, I hope one day I'll have enough money to meet you and thank you in real life. Hey, appreciate that, Joseph. So this is actually John Luke, not Luke, but we do hang out a lot. I should be at the Singapore Token 2049 conference. So let's go over that real quick for upcoming events for the stream. And then I'll answer some more questions. But some upcoming events to watch out for is the new FTX distribution slated for May 30th. So FTX is finally repaying their creditors that had repayments exceeding $50,000. So as you remember from the FTX crash, November 2022, now they had a whole legal issue and now they're finally repaying their creditors. And so while this isn't going to be like a COVID stimulus, because it's not going to be all at once, it's going to be over a few months. And I think a lot of this money will come back into the market. So it will be a nice little tailwind of some added investment. So keep this in mind. May 30th, they should start that in less than 2 weeks. Also, we got the Bitcoin conference, May 27th to the 29th. I think JD Vance is going to be speaking here. So if any of you guys are going to that, should be pretty big there. And then we also have Token 2049 in Singapore. I will most likely be here, guys. So October 1st and 2nd, if you guys will be here, let me know. But this will be a big event. I may not be at the actual conference. I'll be at a lot of side events. But nonetheless, if I can get a ticket for free, I'll probably go to the conference as well. And then we have the FOMC meeting. Next one is June 18th. So it's going to tell us if interest rates are going to be cut or not. Very big date. They didn't cut them on May. They kept them the same. But who knows? They could cut them in June. So watch out for that. But let's see. Let me go back to the Bitcoin chart. So we have that. All right. Don said, hey, I asked you to look at Sol. Oh, hey, appreciate it, Don. Thanks. Yeah, it may not be a bad buying opportunity. I'll see what Bitcoin does today. Vladimir says, can you check Chill Guy? What do you think about the meme? The Chill Guy meme. That one is an interesting one. It had its, fun times. Now, it's kind of been bleeding. Let's go to the chart real quick. So, as far as SR lines are concerned, let's get on the RSI. Okay, so good support in your 70 mil. If you can get Chill Guy in your 70 mil, maybe not be a bad DCA there. Afterwards, the next major support is going to be about 40 mil. So I know it's a ways away, but yeah, that's what I would look at. RSI is almost reset. So yeah, if you can get it near 70 mil to take profit near 111, be a good trade there. Resistance is at 135 and then 148 after that. F30 Skirt says, is this Luke or his brother? Sounds just like Luke. This is neither, F30. My name is John Luke. Funny, we have Luke both in our names, but now I'm a gym hunter for Luke, obviously, but yeah, I mean, we hang out and, I picked up his mannerisms, so it's pretty funny. You're probably the 50th person to ask that. So, but again, you want to network with great people, right? And you'll pick up a lot of, mannerisms, the way they talk, and just in general, their lifestyle. So yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. Appreciate it. John says, could you kindly simplify the EMAs and how to use them? Thank you. Yeah, the EMAs are exponential moving average. So for example, let's say ETH, for example. So ETH, if you go to the EMA, it's an exponential moving average. So basically what it means is this is a 50-day, by the way. So if you look at this, And here, let me remove the drawings or hide them just for a second. So, okay, so the EMA length is 50. So it means the past 50 candles, whatever time frame you're on, so the past 50 weeks worth of data, it's taking an average of the price and reflecting it in this line. Now, an exponential moving average is going to put more weight towards the more recent data. So it's a little bit more reactive, but it tends to be a little bit more accurate. And so all that EMAs give is an average of where price has been. So it's used for trend following. So like you've seen here, whenever we've crossed above the 50 weekly EMA on Ethereum, we've sent, right? It's shown a new trend. But when we've crossed below it, well, now we have a downtrend. Cross above it, uptrend. Cross below it, downtrend. Now we're in the middle, right? The 200 EMA is the same. It's just over 200 weeks if you're on the weekly time frame. And so inherently, they end up being used as support and resistance because, again, they are such significant levels of identifying trend line reversals. And so, yeah, that's basically what EMAs are in simplistic form. It's just an average of X amount of candles, whichever EMA you're on what time frame, and then it gives you the price. EMA, a little bit geared more towards the recent data, whereas SMA, like if you had a simple moving average, for example, and I have the 50 SMA, okay, and let's go ahead and make this, let's make this orange, right? There. So you can see this is the 50 SMA. This is literally the past 50 candles averaged out. And then this 50 EMA puts more weight on the most recent candles. So you can see the difference here, right? And you can see how the SMA hasn't been as significant as the EMA. That's why I like to use EMAs. But again, you can use either or. So hope that explained it. All right, let's see. And again, guys, like the video if you liked it. Really, really appreciate it. Help spread the channel. Fable says, AVAX, please. Okay, I'll go over that in a minute. Philip, is bullish divergence, I don't know how it's written correctly, when RSI is curving up and the price downside, or is there only a bearish one? No, Philip, there's both, right? So you have bullish or bearish divergence. So for example, bullish divergence, you can see here. Bullish divergence is when price makes a lower low and then RSI makes a higher low. That's a bullish divergence, and then you have reversal to the upside. So it can be both, right? A bearish, okay, so RSI is making a higher low, price is making a lower low. That's bullish divergence. So whatever direction the RSI is going, that's if it's bullish or bearish. If it's a higher low, it's bullish. If it's a lower high, it's bearish. So, for example, if you're trying to find a bearish divergence, let me see. See if I can find another real quick. Okay, here's one. So, RSI made a lower high while price made a higher high. That's your bearish divergence, and that's the huge rejection, right? I would wait for the candle to confirm and the RSI to curve down and close before I would short, right? I would wait for this bearish divergence to confirm because RSI can still like keep going up, and then now it's no longer bearish divergence because it's not a lower high. So I'd wait for this candle to form, this red candle, wait for this to confirm to the downside, and that would be my entry on this next candle here. So hope that helps with bullish and bearish divergences. Let's see. Gus says, John Luke, why do you drink from Mountain Valley when you can drink filtered water with custom minerals? So Gus, because Mountain Valley is natural spring water. It's the best type of water you can drink. And I drink it in a glass bottle because it's not contaminated by microplastics, and I know what I'm getting. And it already has the right minerals in it, magnesium and a few others. And it's naturally basic pH, so it's about 7.3 to 7.6. So it helps alkalize your body. Yeah, so because your body's naturally acidic, so helps keep it neutral. So in that sense, that's why I drink Mountain Valley, because spring water is the best. I know where it's coming from, and I don't have to worry about any other chemicals in my filtered water, tap water, that maybe I'm being stripped of or not getting, right? Or getting too much of. So Mountain Valley is probably the best. I recommend everyone buy some Mountain Valley spring water, glass bottles. I would do Aquapana, but they stopped selling their glass bottles, at least in the US. Michael says, what's your thoughts on Bitcoin for short-term trading? There doesn't seem to be enough positive news to justify the current price level. There is some positive news, but again, it's just, again, like the news items I was talking about earlier, there's a lot of institutions, countries, nation states investing in Bitcoin. And so, you know, that's my reason for why it's so high. Maybe it just depends on what you look at. But yeah, I think it's just people know it's coming. People see the adoption. And eventually it's just a matter of time before it becomes a global currency akin to fiat. So it's 2:12 p.m. already. So 12 minutes passed. I'll do a quick fire on these questions, then we'll have to call it. F30 says, Culligan home water filtration system has been a game changer. Hey, awesome. If you guys get a good filtration system, it's tried and tested, then go for it. Junior, is there a way to know when the market is about to get manipulated? No, but just know that on the weekend, it's very volatile, so keep that in mind. And if there's a lot of positive news coming out at once, be wary, because probably you're going to have a retracement soon. Same with bearish news. Be wary, because you're probably going to have some bullish news soon. Don, why am I seeing a bearish chart on Sola? That's a good question. Philip, can you check LTC? I will in a sec. Is there a way to set the stop loss at daily close under X? I don't think there's a way to set that, unfortunately. What you can do is set an alert. If price crosses under that, then you could go look at the chart and then see what happens, or set your timer for the daily close. And then check price at that point. So I would just do that, set a timer, and then just wake up. And if it's not, then go back to sleep. Victor, that's the right one. My question is more about your opinion on play to earn games in order to make a profit from their volatility. NXPC is a game by MapleStory. Oh yeah, play to earn games. I wouldn't do that, Victor. Like, play to earn games, they work for a little. Like, if you're not doing anything with your time, then yeah, play to earn. If you can earn enough to make it worth your while. So like, the biggest question is, what do you value your hour at? You value it at $5 an hour, $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $50 an hour, 100, 200, 500, etc. Once you figure out how much you value your time at, what is that game giving you? If you're earning more than what you value your time at, then yeah, play it. If not, you're wasting time, then spend your time making money elsewhere with e-com, dropshipping, other crypto, you know, studying technical analysis, leverage trading, etc. Like, find where your time is best used, because guys, time is valuable. It's the most important currency we can't get back. The government doesn't print any more of it. So you got to use what you got, right? You got one life, make the most of it. Peter says near. I'll take a look at that. Men of Valor says, your back swole. What's your back routine? Hey, appreciate you, Men of Valor. So my back routine, I will start with hammer grip pull-ups. So I'll do usually 4 sets of 12 to 15, and I will focus on the eccentric movement. So basically I'll do the pull-up and then slowly lower myself for 5 seconds. And then I'll do that again. I've started doing that for the past 3 months or so. It's been really good. Highly recommend that. But just normal pull-ups are good too, like wide grip pull-ups. That was where I built the foundation. That, and then I'll do a superset of like a close grip, whatchamacallit, like a close grip pull down on the machine, supersetted with rope lat pull downs, like straight arm lat pull downs with a rope. And then after that, I'll do one arm pull downs. It's like with a cable. I'll sit down and I'll do basically almost like a lat pull down, but just with one arm, and I'll pull it to my back. I'll do 4 sets of those, and then I'll do lying, like there's like a barbell. So, or not barbell, but yeah, like the Smith machine, right? Smith machine, you have the bar, and I will basically lay on my back, and then I'll grip that to where my arms are fully extended and place my feet in front of me, and then kind of do like a modified pull-up to where I'll focus on like my mid-back, right? So you're like lying on the ground, but you're still keeping enough space and keeping the bar high enough to where you can still do like a pull-up from the ground. So I'll do that, and then last but not least, I'll do lower back extensions. So, yeah, and that's basically my routine. Just says, can you give me the steps to learn, analyze news, crypto, and everything, please? So the steps are just go to the big news accounts. Watch Your Guru is a good one, and just you know, see how price was affected whenever those news items came out. So it's I can't tell you everything, 'cause it'd be a long video, but yeah, just look at how Bitcoin's price reacted to news that was posted and kind of analyze it from there. S4 says, what do you think about low caps and how to identify one? What's the best time to sell them because they're volatile and need attention all the time? Do you have any indicators or telltale signs? It's just a lot of research, S4, honestly. Like, look at any big account supporting it. If there's any smart wallets that you're tracking via GMGN or Photon, etc., or Axiom. You know, if there's a lot of good wallets getting in, potentially could go. If it's not bundled too much, could still be a runner, etc. Zane, how do you enter a trade when looking at support resistance lines? Do you go off the second candlestick? So yeah, you could go off the second candlestick. You know, if it closes above a certain support level, I'll probably long. Or if the indicators are oversold and it's out of support, then I'll probably long from there. I won't wait for the candle close. Rizzer says, you answered my 50K port question. Thanks. Should I load up on my low lev bags right now or wait for lower prices? I'll allocate 5K for leverage trading, 45K for 2 to 3X on hype, SOL, ETH, BTC. Yeah, no problem, Rizzer. As far as the, and also Sui. Sui may be one as well, Rizzer. Research them a little bit, see if you like them. But I think Sui could be a good play this cycle. We'll have to see. Keep an eye on longing on the 50, on the daily 50 EMA. Look at the daily 50 EMA on Sui, Rizzer, and you'll see how once it bounces off of there, very good. Actually, I'll do it real quick for you so you can see. One sec. Let me... Actually, I got a lot of good charts here. Real quick here. Okay, so yeah, if you look at the daily on Sui, you can see how much it's been respected, right? So look, it bounced, rejected, rejected, it bounced, it bounced. Like Sui respects its 50 EMA on the daily so much. So if you're gonna long on Sui, I would look to long near around 330. 330 is gonna be a great buy level if you can buy Sui on low leverage. Awesome level. So, all right. H-bar, let's see. F30 Skirt, nice to meet you, bro. Following you on X now. Hey, F30, nice to meet you as well, man. Appreciate the follow. Got a dip, but thanks for live streaming your time. Smash that like button. Hey, thanks for liking it. Have a great day, man. Appreciate your time. Sad says, for scalp, day swing, which EMA to look at? It depends on what time frame, honestly, but probably the lower ones, like 10 or 20, yeah. John says, appreciate you. Always learn something new in these live streams. Hey, awesome. Ledge, horizontal resistance, support, and trend lines. Is one more significant than the other? You know, I would say horizontal resistance and support is going to be more significant, and trend lines are going to be more subjective. So if I had to choose one, definitely horizontal. Huddy, do you think it's possible Bitcoin could break 110K eventually? Thanks for your time. Yes, I do. I think the top is probably going to be between 115 to 120K, unless it breaks that long-term trend line that it has about 117K. Prime knockout, how do we know you're about to post a leverage signal? You do not, because it's at different times, always. And so just have alerts on the Telegram group or the Discord group, and then be ready. John says, is it better to analyze charts on TradingView and placing bids on BloFin, or can I just analyze charts on BloFin? Is there any difference? No difference, honestly. So, I mean, you can just analyze charts on BloFin, and that's fine. And then you can place trades on BloFin afterwards, right? So, I mean, that's the easiest, honestly, to do everything all in one. You have your indicators on the left side by the time frame. You can add your RSI, stock RSI, whatever you need to, right? And then add it on the chart like this, expand the chart on the right here, click that little expand button, and then, yeah, just analyze it accordingly. So, yeah, you can do everything on BloFin. If it doesn't have some of the coins you're looking for, or maybe it doesn't have the chart that you're looking for, then you can, you know, there's a little more history on TradingView if you want to go a little bit further back. That's the only thing. But yeah, BloFin's good. Let's see. John says, okay, Men of Valor, damn you a beast. Thank you, appreciate it. Hey, no problem, Men of Valor. Like I said, man, 4 sets of every exercise instead of 3, because most people are doing 3 sets. You do 4, you're going to be 33% better than them. Victor says, thank you for the insight. I was more talking about either trying to catch the run or the run down of the crypto to trade NXPC, knowing that since it's a play to earn game can go either direction. Oh yeah, it's hard to say for those play to earn games for the coins. Usually they're just hyped. So I would sell within the first few days when rewards are the highest, because that's when everyone is buying. And then just keep a moon bag if you can. Because again, like you said, things like Axie Infinity, Beam, all these other GameFi tokens, like they absolutely rip to billions. But not every token's going to do that. And so GameFi isn't as hot as it was back in the day. Granted, when GTA 6 comes out next year, they'll probably have a resurgence of the narrative. But until then, I would just sell any pumps or when there's a lot of hype initially. Timmer says green EMAs, it's 50 EMA and purple EMA is 200 EMA. Yes, Timmer. The green is the 50 EMA and the purple is the 200 EMA. Thank you for these videos from Zid, Men of Valor, Noted, Gotcha. No problem, guys. Prime Knockout, thanks. There's a link to the Gym Hunter Premium group inside the free group. It's actually in the description, Prime Knockout. So if you go in the description of this live stream, you'll see the link to join Gym Hunters Premium. Again, it's 1 Ethereum for yearly subscription. We post 40 trades per month, including leverage, DGen Alpha, like meme coins, Gym Alpha. We post weekly gym reports, 24/7 concierge service if you have any questions from our mods. Daily live streams from our 5-6 Gym Hunters. Yeah, a lot of stuff, basically. It's like the free group, but just amplified, so. Timmer says, what can you say about the 20 or 25 EMA? Can't say much about it, honestly. I don't use those as much. Rizzer, appreciate the advice. Hey, no problem, man. 100 EMA. 100 EMA is not bad, Timmer. 100 EMA is not bad. So, okay, I'll do H-bar and I'll do near and LTC, and then I have to head out. Voice is starting to go. So just recovering from this sickness a little bit, but almost back from it. Okay, Litecoin. Support near 94, coincides with the 200 EMA, resistance near 105. Wait to buy at 94, look to sell at 105. H-bar, resistance at 22 cents, support at 17 cents, but it's actually right above its 50 and 200 EMA on the daily, so could be a good buy level here. I DCA here, and then DCA at 17 cents, so 19 cents to 17 cents. And then take profit around 22. And then potentially 26 if it gets there. Because if Trump announces a US-based, no tax on US-based cryptocurrencies, H-bar is going to absolutely send with XRP and others. So that could be a good reason to hold it long term. He's been rumored to say that, but it's been rumored for a couple months now. And then last but not least, let's go near. Okay, let me do some quick TA here. All right, here's what we got for near. So it's bounced off of its 50 EMA on the daily, not too bad. Maybe DCAing here around 270, and then further DCAing at around 220. And then finally, if it gets here, 190. All good support levels. Resistance-wise, 350 is going to be big resistance. It's horizontal, and it coincides with the daily 200 EMA. So 350, I would look to definitely take some profits, and then 470 is going to be another level. So with that, let's see. Victor says, thank you. You are the best crypto educator and insider I've ever followed. Please do not change. Awesome, Victor. Hey, thank you for that comment. I appreciate it, guys. Helps me know that you guys are getting value out of this and you're learning something. So that's what I want at the end of the day, guys. We're all here to grow together. There's enough money to go around. Crypto's a $1 trillion business. We're all going to make money. Mirza says, damn, I'm late to this live. We're expecting BTC to dip to 95. I don't know 95, Mirza. I'd look at 102.7K, and then below that, 96 to 99K. Here's a quick chart on BTC if you want the visualization. Maybe another dip to 102.7 if it happens, and then 96 to 99K. Good levels. Hootie says it's going to be posted on the channel. You're good. Yep, exactly. Yeah, if you missed the live stream, guys, it's going to be posted on the Gym Hunters YouTube. Definitely subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you can watch it after. All right. Awesome. And last question, Mirza, since we have an open CME gap at around 90, 91, 92K, do we expect it to drop that low? 90% of CME gaps get filled within 70 days, if I'm not mistaken. So, real quick question. if the CME gap isn't filled within the first week and a half, then it's not going to get filled for at least a few months. And so we're probably going to go a lot higher until we go lower. So it's very possible that CME gap could get filled, yeah, after those 70 days. Very, very possible. So that would be my bet, Mirza. It's going to take a couple months at least. Maybe like during the red summer. Usually we bleed during the summer, so it could be a perfect time for it to retest it. With that said, guys, I got to head out. That concludes the live stream. Thank you so much for everyone that watched it. If you liked it, please like it. I'd appreciate it. Help spread Gem Hunters to the masses. If you want to join the premium group, description, it's in the description. 1 ETH for a yearly subscription. It's an amplified version of the free group. 40 plus calls monthly with live streams, concierge service, etc. If you want to join the free group, description, it's in the description as well. Telegram link. And then if you aren't signed up for BloFin, definitely sign up under our referral link. Helps us as well. Keep providing those leverage trades for you guys and making money. So thank you guys. Hope you guys have a great Monday, and I'll talk to you soon.